and welcome to Edison Open House Transport Futures 2021. In this session, we're highlighting the work of Advent Technologies Holdings, which makes fuel cells which convert hydrogen and other fuels to energy. With me is its chairman and CEO, Vasily Gregoriou. Vasily, hello.
Nice to meet you again.
So tell me a little more about Advent.
Yeah, as you said, Advent is in the fuel cells, and fuel cells are generators of clean energy. And a lot of us confuse them with batteries, I would say, but batteries are energy storage. Okay, you put energy into a battery and then you discharge the battery and you take the energy out. For fuel cells, as long as you give it fuel, hydrogen most of the time, you get out clean energy. So in a way, they're complementary devices, if you will, and that's how we use them in transportation.
Now, you've got a particular technology that you're using. Explain a bit more about that.
Yeah, because our technology works at high temperature, it allows the use not only from pure hydrogen, which is what it is. Our fuel cell is a hydrogen fuel cell, but because of the high temperature operation, we can use other hydrogen-bearing fuels, which makes our motto, any fuel anywhere, a reality. So it is a flexible fuel cell, and that has a lot of advantages.
So, for instance, you could obviously use hydrogen, but you could also use some of the biofuels that have been coming up lately.
That is correct, because we can reform other fuels, and we take the hydrogen portion out of it, or we can use straight hydrogen, clean hydrogen, and we get electricity out. We also get heat because we work at high temperature, and that's advantageous in a lot of applications. And we don't have pollution. We don't have pollutants.
And one of the remarkable things about this technology is the way that it extends range. Tell me a bit more about how you do that.
Yeah, that's the primary, the advantage that we bring to the table. As we know, batteries are there, especially the smaller vehicles or passenger vehicles. They tend to, all of them, to electricity right now. But there are two major problems with electric vehicles. One is range, as you very well said, and the other is refill time. None of us want to wait, the minutes or the hours that are needed in order to charge the battery. So we come, and with the battery charger, if you will, the complementary fuel cell that we bring to the table, we also we do two things. We change the range, and also we cut the refill time to almost nothing, very, very few minutes.
What type of vehicle would your technology work best for? Are we thinking cars, or are we thinking lorries and trucks?
Yeah, we're talking about the latter, meaning that the heavier the vehicle, the more chance we have to be of help. Because for smaller vehicles, as we said before, the batteries are fine, they're sufficient, and they do the job. The minute, though, you go to bigger vehicles, you go to heavy trucks, you have to heavy equipment, then unfortunately, the batteries, because of their weight and what they can provide, they cannot actually do the job. So we need to change the existing technology, which is based on diesel primarily. So therefore, we need to change the diesel generator with something else, and that is the fuel cell. In a way, the fuel cell takes away two of the biggest problems that batteries have. One is range, and the other is recharge time. So we have a range extender, and also we actually can fill in a very few minutes rather than the hours that are needed if you have a pure electric vehicle.
And what about shipping? You're in Greece at the moment. Greece is the home of many substantial shipping fleets, and they are a major emitter. So is this suitable for ships?
Yes, shipping is a very difficult project for everybody, because we're talking about big vessels, most of them, because when we're talking about shipping, we're not talking about barges or smaller ships, because there, you can have a lot of solutions. But the minute the ship becomes much bigger, we don't have right now the technology at the level to be implemented today. But again, there the fuel cell will be one of the solutions as we move forward, because with the regulations they need to change the fuel that they use, and as you know, unfortunately the fuel used in marine is probably the dirtiest that exists. So the need there is imminent.
Now, you must be working with a whole range of partners to develop this, because you're really on the engineering side, I guess, but you will need partners to place these fuel cell technologies within these vehicles. What kind of partners are you working with?
Correct. Listen, as you said very well, it's this is the business plan of Advent, and any Advent for that matter, to come closer with a strategic relationship to a tier one automaker eventually. So they will, along with us, take the technology to the next level. And that's what we're doing. And we hope to announce a big collaboration this year. But as a company, we have actually taken the normal route. First of all, we have our existing products, which in the portable, smaller. Then we go to off-grid, and because off-grid weight is not an issue, because if you go to transportation, we're talking about automotive, we're talking about aviation, there weight does matter, right? Every pound, every kilo, it's you need to account for it, and the volume and everything. So in a way, that's a natural progression. So we're very happy that we have our portable systems. We're very happy that we have our stationary systems, and now we're working with the top tier strategics in order to take this to the next level, and that's what we need to show the next year. However, I must say, and I want to bring it up, the new technology that we bring in, and we're very excited, is being developed in collaboration with the Department of Energy, the United States Department of Energy, two of the biggest national labs. One is the Los Alamos National Laboratory, and the other is Brookhaven National Lab. Of course, also the Center for Renewable Energy is there as well. So in a way, the Advent tech, it's a very top tier tech. So, and it really promises to be a game changer. So for us, we want to make sure that we bring this to the hands of the customers or the potential strategics. We're working already on this, and we hope to announce something very, very exciting in the very near future.
I was going to ask you that, because there's so much more interest in fuel cells now than there was even 5 years ago, and a lot of new companies are springing up. How do you distinguish yourself compared to the other entrants into the market? You've already said that you have a pedigree, as it were, that you have this very close association with these top tier laboratories. What else marks you, Advent, out as being at the front of the pack here?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I think that makes all the difference. We are a tech company. So we have the tech, we understand the technology, we understand our limitations. Therefore, we understand the limitations of the other technologies, either in the fuel cell arena or in general. So we try actually to bring ourselves to the forefront and find the right market for us of today and the right market for us of tomorrow. We expect a lot of integrators to show up, because there is a lot of good publicity in the sector, and we're very pleased about that. And we think it's going to be even more, because more and more people realize now that this is a one-way street. And I say it now because 5 years ago, Vivian, it was not a one-way street. There are a lot of people who will say, do we really have climate change? Is this something's going to happen? How are we going to do it? And if you see now, worldwide, we have, one, the governments behind it, because the regulations there will make existing technologies obsolete. We're making the diesel generator obsolete, which if you said it 20 years ago, people will laugh. Okay, I mean, you had to be one of these, the minority when you talk. So number one is that, and the people are also behind it. If you talk to my kids, they think it's not moral to talk about, dirty engines. So in a way, the next generation, it will go this way. So in a way, if you think it's very simple, at least in my mind, who will win? It will be the batteries half of the time, and then when the batteries cannot do what everybody would like for a battery to do. For instance, you cannot have a battery in a plane. Okay, you cannot go with a battery from London to New York. Okay, so you need a liquid fuel. You need something. So then the fuel cell comes, and with the new tech that we bring in, and other companies, I'm sure they will try to innovate, and some of them they will, but not with if you go with the wrong tech, try to solve a problem that you did not solve 10 years ago, trust me, you're not going to solve it just because you put more effort doing exactly the same thing as you did before. You need to do new things, a little bit different things. So our strength is the technology. We're a tech company, very heavily not only investing on it, but with deep understanding of the sector, both in materials, now with, our recent acquisition also in the system level, and our leadership there, all of us are putting together the best effort in order to get the best products to the hands of the right people, because it is, in the end of the day, as you said, a marriage. We need to come close to the strategics, that all of them are looking at their business plans being challenged. They say, okay, what do we do now? We did a lot of things for a long time, and now we might have to do something different. Who is out there? We are one of the people that they're looking at, and we're looking up to them as well to take the technology also to the next level, because these are the people who will make the final trucks, they will make the final cars, they will make the final trains, vessels, or engines for a vessel, and so on and so forth.
So you developed fuel cells with your expertise and this deep knowledge from research, but you presumably are also going to manufacture. And where are you in the manufacturing journey?
Yes, we're scaling up. You're absolutely right. The whole game now is to create, very good products, but they're cheap. So we can actually compete with the battery. We can compete with the diesel generator. And I'm very pleased to say that our latest generation of products are there. They can compete with a diesel generator, whereas before that was not the case. We were more expensive. Much more expensive, to be honest. Therefore, we try to find the niche applications. So scale up is an issue, and we have actually put a lot of effort to it. With the recent IPO that we had in Nasdaq, we got enough capital to start building our capacity. And in capacity, not only in what's called the heart of the system, which is the MEA, the membrane electrode assembly, and that's like the element, if you will, in a lithium battery. Every battery has things in them, if you will. That's the same thing with fuel cells. They have things in them, and the thing does the job, does the electrochemistry. So one, you have to scale up that, and the second thing, you have to scale up the final systems as well. But I'm pleased to say that that's not a problem. The problem is not now capacity, is mostly demand. We create the demand, we see strong demand, and all of this is exponential now. Before we would say it's linear, slowly, but now people not only are looking at our products, actually start buying our products more and more. So we're very pleased about that. So capacity is not an issue. We have a technology that's scalable. That was very important to me from the first day. We knew we were going to come here one day, and we will be, how can I say, challenged, if you will, or we had to say, okay, can that really thing become a world level technology, or is it good for few applications that they're people don't care about money, but they're there, the applications are there, or you couldn't scale it, and it's a demonstration project, if you will. So I'm very pleased to say that the capacity will be there. We're building it, and it's because it's plastic based, and things that are more, normal, if you will. We use normal machines in order to do the scale up. That is not an issue.
So you've developed a technology, you're now scaling up, and you've got the price at the right point, and you're actually able to do the right thing for the planet, but actually also have margins for investors.
That is correct. That is correct. And I'm very pleased about that because now for us is really implementation. We have to implement the business plan. Nothing is neither easy nor given, but we have a very good, forward looking path, if you will, that we know where we have to go, when, and what needs to be done in between, and that's our job, if you will, to ensure that we make the right progress, the right time, grow in a controlled way. Because keep in mind, some companies actually don't do well because they it's anarchy. They grow too fast, too much, and they cannot implement what they want. So in a way, that's my biggest job also, to keep things under control, in a calm way, and every quarter to go where we say that we're going to go, and I think we will do it.
So Vasily, you've got extensive experience in this sector, and you clearly have a view of what your vision of future transport is. So do take out your crystal ball. Tell us, first of all, where you think your sector is going, and then how that fits into your vision of the future of transport.
Yes, if we're talking about automotive, we think half of the world will be electric. And when you bring the fuel cell in, because it's inevitable, because otherwise you're not going to have the range, as I said, or the recharge time, you have to separate the world into major, categories. One is where hydrogen will dominate, and I think that will be the case in Germany, London, North California, Tokyo. But then there's another, 7 billion people that they live in the developing world, if you will, that they will be benefited because our fuel cell, it's a fuel agnostic fuel cell. You can use liquid fuels, that's easier to carry. You can use existing infrastructure. So our vision is this, half of the world will be, battery based, at least when it comes to automotive. And when we're talking about bigger and bigger things like heavy trucks and everything, there, depending on the jurisdiction, you're either going to have pure hydrogen, or you're going to have, in our opinion, liquid fuels, that they are carbon neutral in the end. So that's, in my opinion, a very good world if we can achieve it. And we will achieve it, I know we will, and it will happen faster than everybody thinks, because these things are not linear. Now I think there is a tremendous momentum, and it's up to us, the tech companies, if you will, to provide the technical solutions. And then the companies that are stronger and they have the distribution channels and they know what they're talking about how to actually, market a particular thing and everything. They're taking over slowly, but they do now. And I think this will accelerate, and I think much, much faster than we think. People say 2035, 2000. I think it will happen in the next 5 years, my opinion. And we will be here to go back to this interview. Either I'm right or wrong, but I'm very excited about this, I would say.
I have a feeling that you might be absolutely right there, Vasily. Thank you so much for sharing your vision of the future, and also for telling us more about Advent and its very exciting prospects for the future.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Vivian.